never expected.
Alright guys, welcome back to Starfield. And when we last left off, we were uncovering a lot of stuff about these terramorphs. What the hell? I don't care that you're having a baby. Why is there this ladder in the stupid... Why is the ladder right there? Now to do the rest of it, we need to leave Mars. We do have a couple more things to do on Mars, though. So one of the things is the heart of Mars, I believe.
Detonation occurs in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now I do think... So this takes us to New Atlantis. And you know what, let's do that. Instead of doing what I wanted to do before, let's go ahead to New Atlantis and do that so we can offload all of this damn cargo. In fact, do we have... Hold on, let me see if I can grab one of these real quick. Because I never found the bounty board.
Me? You want to talk to me?
No. Because there was the supply, like taking supplies. But we never found
Unless
bounties.
we're picking up parts at Deimos or digging for minerals, I hope you have a good reason for landing here.
See, it's the same thing, but there were no bounties. See? And I can't deliver any of these. Yeah.
Can I grab something?
Okay. Get out. Get the Another thing I'm kind of wondering about these boards and stuff is, are they just radiant? Will they literally not stop? Or are you able to do enough of them to where you don't have any anymore? And I'm only wondering that because some of them may take, like, it's not simply going to a planet, drop off cargo. And if it's kind of just a radiant thing that's going to constantly happen, I'm not 100% sure I want to waste time doing those. Because I feel like it's more for if you really need money.
I heard that you're so fast, you can run around a planet and sign the back of your own head. We just need to find you a pen.
Right. Okay, so we upgraded the ship, but we don't have many things to put into it. is the only thing. Alright, Alpha Centauri it is.
Hey, let me know if we're going to head into the well, so I can watch your back.
You don't need to watch my back. Oh, we're already at the lodge. Okay. But yeah, because I know we have storage.
Sure spends a fortune
At
to
the
maintain
lodge.
the lodge, but I'd say it's worth every credit.
Um, okay. I did already take those. Weapon workbench. I know there's storage. It might be in our room. That's just our inventory. Where is... I didn't want to go upstairs. Where is my fucking room? Yeah, I know you can't sleep in an own bed, so I'm trying to find my room. It's to New Atlantis. See, that's the thing. Do we still have that quest? No, so we don't have the... one where she needs to
Ever
show
since I
us
got here, this has felt like home. These people are
around.
family. I hope it feels that way.
Storage box. Maybe I can put stuff in here. But just for stuff from my inventory. Store all resources. I think this one was just worth a lot. And this one is just really good, but this one has all that extra carry stuff. So weapons.
To Venus? Bring me anything you... Bye.
Okay, I just need to grab the stuff from the ship. Which is right there.
Let me know when you're ready to launch.
Whoops. I think I accidentally took yeah, I do not want the ship parts. Then nothing in there.
Whenever I'm lost.
I have things for you.
They don't.
Captain Elijah, greetings.
I need to get to the lodge.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear. Enjoy your visit.
How do I put a marker down? Okay. See that? So this is another thing I'm talking about. So I put a marker down. Where is it? Can I only see the marker through here? Like, oh, it's up there. Okay. So we need to go over there. Because we haven't been able to do anything with regarding cargo or anything like that, constantly being over encumbered, and so offloading all this crap will help. And plus we can just come here if we really want to craft stuff.
Only one point of Moera's patrol route to work from. That's how it goes sometimes.
And then we can give Sarah stuff as well. Maybe some of our weapons that we don't have hotkeyed. I need to use some more weapons to figure out which ones I really like. Like, I didn't like the Grendel, and I don't like the... What was it? The little submachine gun that we had. I don't like that one. I never really liked submachine guns. Hey, there we go. We got, we got a little bit of that going now. And then that laser rifle, I didn't really like that one. So I know those, 3 weapons I don't really need to
bunking on the ship, but nothing is better than unwinding in your own quarters.
grab. There we go.
Have a moment.
What?
Here, I have something for you.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. I picked it up on one of our latest planetary expeditions. I'm more than just an extra gun, you know. I'm just pleased I get to utilize some of my old field collecting skills. It's been a while. Check back with me from time to time after we return from our planetary jaunts. If I pick anything up, it's all yours.
Solvent root. Thanks, I just offloaded a bunch of crap. And you gave me more of it.
Captain,
Hey, Adrian.
over here. The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC, it's More complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone.
What?
Of a man named Francois Sanon. One-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War. Former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Are there others from your program still out there? Other clones?
I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
Your clone of a man, how does that work?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Well, you know, we had a clone in Wasteland 3, and that didn't turn out to be bad at all, so... This Ve Victus must have been an impressive commander for the UC to want to clone him.
He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
You're not your father. If the cabinet doesn't see that, it's their problem, not yours. Let's see. What did your father do to merit being executed?
He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the Colony War to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him.
Well, you're not your father, so...
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Your eyes, they're red. Is that a result of the cloning process? No.
That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars.
We know that.
The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift.
Are you willing to tell me any more about your father?
I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being fleet admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy, perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Vae Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life.
Any suggestions on what I should say to the cabinet?
It's hard to know exactly what might sway them. I'd just be honest about what you saw. A colony wiped out, and a lot of lives lost. Something we don't want anyone else to have to experience.
So, honestly, what are the risks of us accessing this data?
Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
Don't have any questions, no.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Thank you. Cabinet chambers. Oh, we have the Vanguard orientation and pilot thing here now. Which I should really do more of the pilot stuff just to... Hello.
Howdy.
Pardon?
Just to get more hang of the flight stuff.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Thanks don't keep my ship fueled, ma'am. Hadrian made it clear that addressing this issue required the utmost urgency.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data. We need the archival data to find a way to stop a possible Terramorph apocalypse. I'm just going to talk about what happened. Hadrian's the one with the grand plans. Let's see. We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data.
That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, A power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties. Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
It was big. It wiped out a colony that never saw it coming. That's pretty alarming.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
He's Logan. Wolverine.
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
If there's a chance what happened on Tau Ceti can happen elsewhere, we need to grant the request. Yes, if the fear is the data being weaponized, the Terramorph program failed. The data is not dangerous. Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without
I
gathering
don't
more
care.
information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
Keep you.
I'm inclined to agree.
Get out of this,
As
Sarah.
am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Okay, I didn't expect this to happen, so I had to mute for a little bit because there was some weird noise coming from outside. But get out of the elevator.
Please.
You!
Don't.
The EM rifle, grab it!
Now.
Now!
Now hit him with everything you've got.
We're trying to help you!
What are
Oh,
you
you're
doing?
going to regret this.
EM fire, Captain!
Oh. So, are EM weapons also these?
It's not me! It's not me! I'm gonna end you! Stop me! Who's next?
Why is it?
I don't know what we're supposed to do.
I will.
Don't kill.
Ah, let's do this.
Lights out on that one.
Okay. So we just have to keep shooting him.
Thank God you got here when you did. I just wish it hadn't come to that.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for using lethal force here.
I didn't know. I'm sorry, I messed up.
Sorry doesn't bring these people back. A crisis isn't licensed to cast aside your morals. Understand? Now, officer, the way those people were acting, I've seen this before.
Okay, real quick.
We tried to but some of the other...
Pheromonic project. Some terror. It affects everyone. You kill the more? Let's do it.
That's on...
Can I load this back? Yeah. I didn't realize, I mean, that was never, ever said that they do non-lethal damage. I mean, it never was discussed.
You hit him with everything you got.
Stop! We're trying to help you!
I can't!
Where are you?
Lights out on that one.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Let's see, are you suggesting... So does this mean I need to worry about you turning on me? Are you suggesting Terramorphs can control someone's mind?
I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them. But still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the Terramorph.
Sounds like we need to hustle.
Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Huh. A lot less dialogue than when I accidentally killed somebody.
No time to waste, Captain. Smash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
Spaceport District. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
Shoot it! Shoot it!
Ooh, it broke through a wall.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
Don't let it through!
There's another one!
Hold on. So should we still be using this?
Captain! You're going to be okay! It's not real! Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real! We have to put down that floor!
Meat to the slaughter.
Here! I'm over here! Oh God! Please don't let me die!
I don't stock up on junk.
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, we've got one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Optional, speak to the fire team. Let's do it.
I can only spare the one fire team. Everyone else, I need holding this perimeter.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
Let's see, I want you watching our backs. We'll handle this. You stay put. And you're sure you're not going to turn on us out there?
We're not afraid. But we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the experts.
I want you watching our backs.
Roger that. We're on you. I hate false alarms. Gotta stay sharp. You know the drill. Kill him. Push forward.
I'm coming for you.
Firing.
Stop! Stop! Don't shoot! We're friendly!
See, they're using this, so let me just use it for the hell of it.
Here they come along the path to end their living days at last.
It's not working. It's never going to work.
You! Put it down! Put down the weapon or we shoot!
We're under attack!
Right behind.
Damn it! Need some help here!
Commencing attack.
Doubt they'll trouble us anymore.
I'm on fire.
I'm coming for you.
Ready for a fight?
You're not getting away from me.
Surrender!
Check your six! It's one of them!
Here! I'm over here! Oh God! Please don't let me die!
All wrapped up. We should go tell the sergeant what happened.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Hey, this is crazy. There's a dead guy.
Thank the heavens you're back in one piece. Though I guess our people weren't so lucky.
The sacrifice wasn't in vain. The city's safe now.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you. The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
This is crazy.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
Terramorphs.
That's a relief to hear. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Agreed. Thank you.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Well, me, why not send a diplomat, someone trained for this sort of thing?
The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of Terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The Cabinet was unanimous. They want you.
If you're sure that's the wisest course of action.
We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data.
Oh.
So, will you help us?
You can count on me, ma'am.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. We're dismissed.
To prevent more attacks.
Level up.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Corona. Start getting a plan together for that data.
Groups across the several systems, it's hard to keep up with all the work they're doing.
Remember, guys, this is a side mission. Isn't that crazy? But anyway. Remember, I really, really want weapon engineering. Requires to craft items and complete research project is reduced by 20%. Craft 10 unique food, drinks, drugs, weapon mods, or equipment mods. And so we need two more level ups basically, and we may not, so the next one is 40% and then 60. We'll see how much stuff we're able to craft in the first place.
Yes?
These orders, a Vanguard captain. You...
Nova Galactic Manual 3 permanently reduces fuel needed for gravitons by an additional 1%. Great Expectations. Bleak House.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Freestar Collective Settler, where the UC keeps all their secrets on how to kill Freestar citizens. Haha.
Last I checked, it takes 2 parties to fight a war. But, since you're such an expert, I'm sure you also know it's supposed to be managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varoon.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varoon to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
You'd think they'd be clamoring to help after the spaceport attack. What can you tell me about these codes? Can we forge them?
No. Each is a strip of several million random numbers generated on the fly based on biometric keys kept by each of the ambassadors on their person at all times. They're impossible to create without those keys, and those keys stay with the ambassadors, meaning we're accessing nothing if we can't get them on our side.
You'd think they'd be clamoring to help after the spaceport attack.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here.
Damn it.
Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
Oh.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with.
Maybe tickle them
Who do you want to
until
start
they
with?
confess?
Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varoon?
Probably Radcliffe first.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Alright, tell me about the other tools then.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
What can you tell me about this staff member?
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts.
Any other things I should avoid doing inside the embassy?
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
Okay, that's all the info I need for the moment on Ambassador Radcliffe.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Credits and embassy security added. Let's see. Tell me about Ambassador Balmore of House Varun.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Why? What's wrong with House Varun?
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
That actually sounds pretty promising.
It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
What do I do if he's dead?
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Wait, has no one actually been inside the embassy?
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out.
What kind of life signs did you detect in the embassy?
The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
I'll track him down.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Okay. That was my goal, just because, I mean, we have, what the hell was that? I don't have the key. We have...
Hello.
Hello. Weirdo. Killed the Varun Zealots. Or at least a few of them.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Oh, okay. That's the guy we're doing the odd jobs for.
How are you doing? It's been a while since we had a chance to catch up.
I've got no complaints.
We'll talk to him really quick, see what maybe he has additional information since he also is on our tracker. It's a little bit odd.
Crime has slowed down since you started helping out, which is good for morale.
Has there been any fallout from the Terramorph attack?
The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. If I'm being honest, I still have nightmares of my team turning on one another. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust in each other is going to take time. Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who were inspired by what you did. I've got faith we'll survive this.
Do you have any work? I've got time to help.
I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is up and running again, which is good for commerce, but also for smugglers. We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the spaceport, and we need to investigate.
I can find the smugglers for you. How are the smugglers evading the contraband scan?
Well, technology-wise, criminals have always been one step ahead. No different now than it was centuries ago. Smugglers often have a fancy shielding or scan jammers that allow them to evade the checks. But luckily, we can still use old-fashioned detective work to track these criminals down.
I can find the smugglers for you.
Great. First, speak to one of the technicians over by landing pad B. Ask them if they've noticed any suspicious activity. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with ship records over at Aegis. When you're done, report back to me with your findings.
Where can I find the technicians?
There should be a few working on the landing pads. If they don't know anything, move on to another. Right now, we don't have any good leads. But if anyone's seen anything, it will give us something to go on.
Can you tell me more about these shipper records?
Remember that job you did for Agent Plato? I finally had a reason to call in that favor he owes us. I asked him to pull the names and cargo of every potential smuggling ship that docked in the last month. He said he'll have a slate ready for you to examine. See you later.
So, is it possible people are... I don't know, because the Terramorph attack just seems really convenient. So, I mean, at this point I'm still thinking possibly somebody is bringing them places. But they're so big. There's just no way, you know?
Exactly. It's like...
When someone insults you, you want to just beat the shit out of them sometimes, but you don't.
Well, not quite what I was thinking, but that's actually a great example, Marcus. The man in the story was cruel. Do you know why he was...
our visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
Thank you.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or conference room. That means you.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
You better. What? Why is this door a thing? So weird.
Terramorphs? As in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
This building
I'm
is
sorry.
Freestar Sovereign
Do you have an
territory.
appointment?
So in here, we're the law.
Well, we have Freestar Collective Settler. I'm here today on behalf of the United Colonies, but I'm a member of the collective just like you.
Ah, so you're the one they called about. Failed to mention you were collective-born. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants Terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
You heard correctly. We need access to the archives.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous.
Stupid lady.
I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go?
Persuade. Please, Ambassador, just listen to what I have to say.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood.
Thank you, Ambassador. Just hear me out.
I'm listening.
Okay, we need 3, 6, 7, 8. We can auto-persuade. But let's try real quick. We have Freestar Collective Settler. The Collective's my home. I just want what's best for it. And that's working with the UC.
In the end, we all just want to be safe in our little fiefdoms, don't we?
The Terramorph Xenoweapons project was a failure. That knowledge isn't dangerous.
You know that for sure. That is interesting.
Are you willing to risk more deaths? Because that's what you're doing by not helping us.
Preventing more deaths is precisely what I'm trying to do by keeping the archives sealed. Captain, I'm sorry, but my answer is not changing. The UC is just gonna have to find another way. Now, I presume you can see yourself out.
Oh yeah, we can speak to the staffer. I forgot about that. We could have auto-persuaded right there. I'm so mad that I didn't do that.
That woman is an absolute... Oh, sorry. Oh, what? You're the Vanguard captain, right? You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. Sounds like I got real lucky. And like I've got you to thank for things not being a lot uglier.
You did get lucky. It was a war zone down there. I have a lot of respect for this city and its residents, unlike some people around here.
Heard that, huh? Yeah, the ambassador likes to treat us like family. And she doesn't care for most of them either. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that personally, even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so you should probably go speak to her.
Sounds like you could be doing more. A lot more. like working with me?
You want to work with me? Why don't we talk somewhere a bit more private?
Sorry. Everyone's a little on edge after the attack.
So you want me to work with you? But why now? Why me?
We need help preventing more Terramorph attacks, and we're not expecting the Ambassador's support.
No, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And no other city should have to go through what happened here. So then, what would you need from me?
I need you to get me the Ambassador's archival access code.
Okay, first you need her bio key, and that thing doesn't leave her side. Better chance of splitting the atom with a spoon than me getting that from her.
Okay. Access to her quarters without being seen.
Her quarters. Huh. Oh, that's doable. And you and the UC will be providing me with what for my services?
1,000 credits. You know what? I need to clear something with my superiors. I'll be right back. Or we can lie. No, we'll give him 1,000 credits.
Oh, wait. I thought you were looking to hire me. I'm not taking a bribe.
Let's go ahead and lie. The diplomatic office will bring you on as an operative. Put your real talents to use.
Really? Okay, you've got yourself a deal. Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads to the Ambassador's quarters, which you can access through the main conference room. Here, the key. Whatever you do, don't let the guards see you entering or exiting the utility section, or you're gonna be in serious hot water. I'll keep an ear out for more instructions from the UC.
I really hope that we can convince them to recruit him. I will feel really bad.
That last click is so satisfying, isn't it?
Didn't really need any of it. I'm stuck. There we go.
Did I not make myself abundantly clear, Captain? You're not getting access to the archives.
I know you're planning to replace someone on the Council of Governors. Let's go with this one. Are you serious? There was just an attack on the city. You're really not going to help us?
No, Captain, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. What you experienced down there at the spaceport, I've lived that once before already. Fought tooth and nail as aliens rampaged in the streets of my home and others all throughout the Collective. But my aliens were placed there by UC hands. So I'm not interested in anyone getting power like that ever again. The UC most of all.
What if I told you that terramorphs couldn't be weaponized? Would that change your mind?
You have my answer. Now please take the hint.
I know you plan to replace someone on the Council of Governors.
Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's evidence. I imagine bad things would happen if your bosses found out.
No. If the council found out, I'd lose my position. I'd be exiled. Look, I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. The issue at hand is one of trust, no? So perhaps if I can trust you to keep this little secret between us, then maybe we can find a way to trust the UC with access to the archives.
You got yourself a deal.
Good. I appreciate you working with me. Just like I'm sure our great powers will. In fact, I think there's an opportunity here. Keep both our factions happy and ensure an air of legitimacy to the whole proceeding. I can only let you get the information on the terramorphs. Anything else and people will get suspicious. And all research will need to be monitored. Freestar scientific observers making sure everything's being used for the right purposes. But those 2 items should be enough to allay any suspicions.
That plus my negotiation fee seems like it should all work out just great.
What on earth are you... Ah, yes. How could I forget? Here, the fee. Now let's go get your code piece so you can be on your way.
Sounds like it was a real mess down at the spaceport.
Thanks, buddy.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here you go. It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all.
Alright, now time for House Rune. I really hope I can convince them to give that guy a job. check out the second floor. Nothing.
Well, this isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy.
Oh. Update friend foe settings, recalibrate, remove combat inhibitors, confirm. We took care of the defenses.
I've never seen a tree like this before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if the branches weren't blocking our way.
What?
If you're searching, then make it quick.
Let's go!
You've got nothing.
Living quarters, local systems computer. I don't get it. I disabled the defenses. doing fine.
Bring it on.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna run out of picks. We don't have a 1, so it can't be this one.
I'm hoping there was a good reason that was locked.
Nope. I don't need to do that when I'm running out of picks.
Give it your best shot. Not gonna last much longer. Come on! Don't leave any of that behind.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us.
Can't take any of this. Personal computer, holy shit. Alright, we'll read that in a minute. Oh, we can take all this though. We'll look at that later. There's no way. Oh, it's only a 2. Does that really mean... No, there's no... Yeah. We have to use both 1s here. I don't know how those auto slots work. I just wasted them all.
biometric key required.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Eh? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly?
Did you say that this pouring out clouds upstairs is called a venom tree? Is it poisonous?
Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. Hence why I was guiding you through the intercoms to restore the environmental controls. And release me. It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... well, perhaps not a topic for this exact moment. But I must know of the rest of the city. Does it still stand?
Is that what happened here at Power Surge?
I take it you didn't have such an experience where you were, then, hmm? Yes, the entire embassy was thrown into lockdown, trapping me in my quarters, disabling the Venom Tree's filters, and arming the defenses. A disconcerting experience, to say the least. Was the rest of the city spared?
The spaceport is in rough shape, but not much else was damaged.
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly?
Correct. We're going to use the data in the archives to better understand and stop these attacks.
The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy. With little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Now, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
You don't need my assurances. Independent observations will verify it's used responsibly.
We'll do everything we can to make certain that happens.
Well, then I shall not fear. Please, follow me. Let's hope it still works. And... there. Let it be used for good.
Alright guys, so, sorry about that. Actually, this was 7 hours later? Yeah. So, I wanted to read these and The hell do we have to do? Return to Deputy McIntyre. Okay. Alright, Log 1 Arrival. Yesterday marked the beginning of my tenure as House Varun's ambassador in the United Colonies. I arrived full of hope, believing our gesture of opening this new embassy would demonstrate that we had moved beyond our blood-stained past, but we had barely been in New Atlantis an hour when the troubles ahead of me began to reveal themselves. Our brief walk from the spaceport to the embassy was marked by suspicious glances and sneers from numerous strangers on the street. I fear minds here will not be easily changed. The wrongdoing of House Varun will not be so easily forgotten. It is my fervent wish that this embassy will come to be seen as an emblem of a peaceful future, free of the stains of prejudice and violence. I will do my utmost to act as an avatar for that goal, regardless of any resistance I may face. Though I find myself in a strange land, I know the Great Serpent will guide us to success in our endeavor. Log 2 Protests. This morning I was roused from contemplative prayer by the sound of muffled shouting. Upon investigation, I discovered a sizable group of United Colonies citizens engaged in a protest on my doorstep. They are opposed to their government's attempts to establish diplomatic ties with House Varun and are petitioning for the immediate shuttering of the embassy. My attempts to engage them in discussion were fruitless. Most would not speak with me, and those who did refused to believe that our intentions in New Atlantis were purely peaceful. The embassy guards were eventually required to intervene, forcing me back into the building when the crowd's anger began to manifest as threats to my well-being. I intend to discuss this matter with my counterparts in the United Colonies. Their aid will be essential if this effort is to succeed, though I fear this will not be an isolated incident. Log 3, a visitor. Each day my frustration grows. Great Serpent, what have I done to merit such scorn? Recently, Sia Maven arrived at my embassy to receive a visit from such a high-ranking priestess, a Gravid no less, with the intention of engaging in talks with the United Colonies. I was overjoyed. Such a gesture from the House could only mean those skeptical of our efforts at long last see merit in our work. But it seems I was deceived. Sia's stated mission and her actual intentions are clearly at odds. She has refused every opportunity to engage with representatives from the United Colonies. Instead, she speaks incessantly about the need to surveil the very diplomats whose trust I have dedicated months of effort to gaining. She remains trapped in our old mindset, unable to see what it is we are actually doing here, guaranteeing House Varun's future. The losses from the Serpent's Crusade were incalculable. Weird. Diplomacy is the only method through which House Varun's survival may be assured. I must find a way to make Sia see this. Luckily, I believe tonight's dinner will be the perfect opportunity. Our UC host, Deputy Diplomat Roland, is level-headed, reasonable, I dare say even sympathetic, a rare animal among the UC, if prior experience is to be any indicator. If Sia approaches him with open arms, I have faith that he would embrace her as a comrade. Great Serpent, let this come to pass. Log 4, dinner. Great Serpent, is this a test of my faith? Do you truly wish to plumb the depths of my loyalty? What other explanation could merit why you would permit such a spectacular disaster? Dinner at Deputy Roland's was initially promising, even congenial. Yes, there were pointed questions about House Varun's intentions, but overall an air of polite decorum was maintained. But it was when one of Roland's more boisterous guests, an officer of some type, perhaps having enjoyed one too many glasses of Chandra, asked, "But how can we trust you, Snakes, after what you did?" That, I believed, the Gravid reached her breaking point. They were only words, but words are the battlefield on which diplomacy is fought, and I realized too late that this was a salvo Sia would not let pass. As dessert was served, Sia excused herself. We waited for her return, and waited, and waited. When it had become clear the Gravid had simply left, I made my pleasantries and rushed back to the embassy. There I found her packing her things. When I asked where she was going, she stated simply, "I have seen all I need to," and she left without another word. I've reached out to my contacts back in Dazra who have assured me that they still believe in the venture, that Jarek Varun himself still believes, and that is all the reassurance I require. Log 5, a test of faith. The last of my staff have left today, our embassy now effectively shuttered. House Varun's leaders have ceased all communications with the United Colonies. Our own orders from Dazra were not much better. Standing as a single word, return. No other reason mentioned for our abandonment of our post. For the abandonment of our cause. But I know a test of faith when I see one. I serve House Varun. A simple understanding of that directive would be that I follow their orders, but what we do here is greater than that. If we are to survive, it cannot be on our own. If others refuse to see that, so be it. So here I stand, waiting for the day they all see the truth and come back. Log 6, silence. There has been no word from my people in months. I have made several attempts at contacting them, but I am uncertain if my message are reaching Dazra at all. As such, I have had much time to think. Why allow us to come here, make a home for ourselves around a distant star, only to demand our return when the first bit of resistance is met? Because of some drunken slight? Even Sia is not that influential amongst the court. No, there is something larger at play here. The recalling of the staff, it wasn't because of the incident with Gravid. A change has occurred. Yet by staying, I now may never know what it is. Only time will tell. Log 7, spies. It seems it's been quite some time since my last entry. A welcome bit of exercise today. A United Colonies spy snuck inside the embassy. Just before dawn, as I finished my morning prayers, I heard an odd thrum. At first, I presumed my hearing was finally giving out, but then I realized what it was. It was the elevator descending. Presuming uninvited guests could mean only bad things, I snuck upstairs and hid among the branches of the venom tree. I watched like a gargoyle perched on a parapet. As the young man stalked cautiously through the branches of the tree I'd spent so much time cultivating, obviously scared beyond his wits. At one point, an errant branch snapped as he passed, and I swear the boy leapt a foot into the air before realizing its source benign. I was shocked that the mere idea of House Varun could still garner such fear, even this long after the end of the Serpent's Crusade. It would have been amusing if it wasn't such a clear reminder of the failure of my own endeavor. We evaded each other like this for the better part of 2 hours. It was a welcome distraction from a life now steeped in routine. He eventually gave up, returned to the elevator, and I to my meditation. As I think on it now, however, the purpose of the visit is exceedingly disappointing. This was no diplomat, no neighborly knock on the door. This was a spy. Someone breaking into somewhere a normal soul couldn't. They think me dead, don't they? Log 8, a surprising message. It's happened. The message was short, a simple request for information regarding the state of things in New Atlantis, but filled me with relief nonetheless. House Varun has contacted me at long last. I had been forced to harden my heart to the possibility that I may never hear from my people again. Today's message assuaged that fear. Though their intentions remain unclear, I am comforted by House Varun's willingness to re-engage in communication. I am hopeful that it signifies Dazra's willingness to return to more earnest attempts at diplomacy with the United Colonies. Great Serpent, you answer my prayers at last. I stand firm in my belief that it will be at my side as I continue to serve House Varun's interest in New Atlantis. May his celestial light bathe my people and those we once stood against and help to usher in an era of harmony at last. Yeah, it's a good thing I saved all of those, I should say, because... Oh, storm room key. He doesn't have it. A good amount of money. Because I had to go. Oh yeah, that's right, we went, it was a weird path we went. How do we get out of here? Nova Blast Disruptor. It's a good thing I couldn't find my way out. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, I guess. For right now. I don't really need it though. I don't need it on me. So what did I get? Nova Blast Disruptor EM 100. Versus this thing, which is only EM10. The fire rate's just way better. Oh, and Nova Light. We also got a pistol.
You might actually need that later, you know.
I don't. Cool.
Okay. Hello.
Captain, I just received a couple messages from an operative in the embassy office. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? Was he alive? Did they both actually agree?
Code pieces from House of Rune and the Free Star collected and ready to be deployed.
That's incredible. I wasn't sure Radcliffe would ever get on board. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you managed to pull all this off, but that'll have to wait for another time. Regardless, superlative work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Okay.
Hey. Keeping the skies safe out there?
I don't even know if I've actually ever been in here.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules.
It's a mess.
Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Does it matter which one I do first?
Verified. Unlocking. You may proceed, Captain.
Okay. So there's still a couple of places in New Atlantis I still haven't even been to, and probably more than a couple.
Time to get wet, eh?
Oh.
there you are. Captain. Surprised to find out we're having visitors as we work.
Major Sinan and I were just discussing the merits of your planned interfactional cooperation. I think it's a great idea. Get them invested in the solution. Make it clear we've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure they'll be lovely house guests.
Now, Captain, if you wouldn't mind transferring the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing next steps.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready.
Let's see. I made someone a promise, Adrian. Can you assure me this data will be used for good?
Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right.
Plus, you don't need her word. We'll be setting up oversight alongside the collective.
Major, you may take possession of the Terramorph data.
Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Should even be able to house its own cadre of independent observers. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Do we get a house? I like Hadrian. She's really cool. You guys walk so damn slow.
Pardon.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies?
I'm ready.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
Sure, whatever. I will.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation.
We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property.
Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position.
Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name.
So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms?
Ask for me by name. Who are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Do I have it?
I'll take it to my grave.
Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Hey, we just got a lot of money. Is it the dude that supposedly is dead?
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
Nobody has to know.
You're cleared for entrance.
Thank you.
Logging authorized entry, unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor. But there are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
That's fine. She's kind of annoying between you and me.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat.
But I'm scared. You didn't see that. The only reason I do this first is so that when we're done talking, I don't need to do it later.
President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face
It's
a
her
foe
dad.
unlike any other. An invisible enemy lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am?
Given the amount of security, I say you're someone pretty important or dangerous. I think I know who he is.
Perceptive. I like that. I'm Francois Fanon. But most know me as
They Victus. Yeah, I know it was him.
I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes. But the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here. A sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies.
So, what'd you do? Did you see faked your death then? Senon, that's Hadrian's last name. Yeah, we know. Definitely one of the chattier ghosts I've met, except about what you actually want. My god, the UC has been lying all this time.
I want to help you, and my progeny Hadrian, prevent more attacks. Though I am curious, has she shared with you the nature of our little family?
She told me she is your clone, yes.
Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do.
Not every day I get the chance to work with a man living in a fish tank. Keep talking. Can you tell me more about the cloning program?
It was an attempt by the United Colonies to solidify its own legacy, forging a new generation of great leaders. They were raised by adoptive families made up of scholars and tacticians, trained at the United Colonies' greatest scientific and military academies, displayed incredible promise. But by the time the Colony War came to a close, there was only Hadrian. But that's ancient history now. You have much more pressing matters at hand, with which I can help.
I'm listening.
After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with.
Go on.
There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colonies' more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the Colony War ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know.
Why have me do this? Why not hand this over to one of the members of this recovery team?
Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps down the line, you might become a part of our team. And this might be something of a tryout.
How do I know you're not asking me to kill an innocent man?
Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this loose end at long last. Though I would ask you, do not make the mistake of confusing me for a simple cutthroat.
How about I arrest him and turn him over to the UC?
You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it.
I'm not killing anyone, but if he's actually as bad as you claim, I'll consider bringing him to justice. Consider him dust.
Good. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf system. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
So we're going to go ahead and talk to McIntyre real quick, and then we'll probably end it.
You may proceed to the exit.
Oh.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy.
There's an executed war criminal in your basement. I was never heard that. I don't see what the big deal is. Some old guy living in your basement. I could do that.
Exactly. Just another prisoner. Nothing you'd ever even think of bringing up in conversation. With anyone. Ever. We understand each other?
Why hasn't Hadrian been told about this?
The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information, and she certainly doesn't need a distraction from her current, very important work. Which is why I need you to keep this to yourself.
I'll keep it to myself.
Good. Because bringing this up to the outside world would create the unfair appearance, Captain, that you're unhinged. And that's not a good look for any of us. Now, was there something in particular you needed to discuss about what we were just discussing?
You start threatening, and I start blasting is the thing. Prisoner asked me to do with the Dr. Olays. Figured you and I should discuss. I'm going to be a hitman.
Dr. Reginald Olays? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Olays is completely out of the question. But bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC.
What's being offered in return?
The location of Hadrian's old research team members.
Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting?
I'm supposed to head to the den. Anything you can tell me about it?
The Den? It's a star station. Orbiting Wolf, the second star station actually to bear that title. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the Serpent's Crusade. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and refueling UC military vessels. But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there have always been a little more lax. Patrols included. I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out.
What are the chances I'm being lured into a trap?
Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake. But I don't think you need to be too concerned. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch.
So while I'd certainly warrant caution, I think you can proceed.
Didn't have anything else.
Then I'll bid you good day, Captain, and remind you of the importance of discretion.
Okay, I wanted to check. The realty thing, since that's gonna be here. Just wanted to see, you know, how much is a house? Even though we do have the lodge, but, you know, wouldn't hurt. Oh, what's this place?
It's a buyer's market right now. Good time to make a move. Welcome to Feeling Realty. I'm Zora, and I'm here to help with whatever you may need. What brings you in today? Looking to settle down, or move up in the world, or just window shopping?
Just wandered in. I'd like to find some place to live in New Atlantis. I don't think I could afford to live here.
I don't blame you. It's a lovely city. the crown jewel of the UC. I'm here if you have any more questions, or if you'd like to look at properties.
You have any properties outside of New Atlantis?
Oh, don't I wish. Between UC regulations and demand here in the city, I haven't had a chance to branch out yet. But you best believe I'm keeping an eye on the situation, and actively lobbying for a little more leeway.
I'd like to hear about what you have for sale.
Well, first of all, let me just say congratulations on becoming a United Colony citizen. Let's see what we have available. Right now, I've got a little place in the well that's up for grabs. Needs some work, and the location is less than ideal, but it's a foot in the door, so to speak. I have a penthouse apartment in one of the residential towers. I forgot. Government has dibs on that one. Well, if it comes back on the market, I'll let you know. Sound like something you're interested in?
Pay 30,000 credits. I'd like to buy the apartment in the well. I'm not ready to buy just yet.
No pressure here. You come see me if you change your mind. Stop by anytime.
I just wanted to see what they had. I forgot I have contraband.
Now that we're here, perhaps we could spend a bit of time relaxing rather than planning?
I don't want that.
I have things for you.
To Venus? Actually, yes, I do. Here you are.
Cool.
So long.
I wonder, let me try this.
Only one point of Moera's
I think we
patrol.
went our separate ways.
You can't get rid of me that easily.
Damn it. Okay, so we just need to do Old Neighborhood. I'll tell you what, guys, we're gonna end it here. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And we'll see about finishing off this side quest in the next one. Bye.
Decorated members.